concentrate all fire on that superstar destroyer.
Sir, we've lost our bridge deflector shield.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This time I have something a little unique to share with you. This is one of the ships from the FanHome or Deagostini Starships or Star Wars Starships and Vehicles collection. Now apparently this collection was only available in the UK, Spain, France, and I think some other countries in Europe. But for some reason, it has never made it to the States. And these things are notoriously difficult to track down via eBay or other means. And they generally go for higher inflated prices for the most part. So here in the States, one has to be extremely picky and choosy as to which ones they actually want, assuming you can track them down for a reasonable price. Which leads me to this. I got my hands on this. I have been admittedly in a Star Wars kick lately. And like I am with Trek, I love my ships. And this is no exception. So I wanted to at least have something from this collection. So I went ahead and found one online and ordered it. And it came. Unfortunately, however, as you can see, the magazine appears to be in Spanish. So I'm going to just quickly go through that and then share with you the little model that's in here. So I'm going to cast this aside and dive right into this very quickly. So you can see from the outset, it kind of comes with a magazine and a ship in a box, very similar to what Eaglemoss and now FanHome does for the Star Trek Starships collection. And that means it just comes with a magazine in the ship and a stand to put the model on and a unique box or packaging that it goes into. So, just looking at it, I'm going to guess that this is the format that is for all of the ships in this collection. And you have a nice image of the executor there. And some copyright info, and I'm assuming information about the ship and its appearances in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and the model, physical model, of course, some more imagery. Unfortunately, it's all in Spanish. So, and then the annotated plan views, very much similar to the Star Trek Starships collection magazines. And what I used to call magazine filler, for those of you who have seen my old Eaglemoss magazines and ship videos, is that they just throw something else in there that they can use to fill out the pages. And this particular one has Admiral Piet from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And this seems to be a profile on him and his service to Darth Vader. And then some more magazine filler on the Imperial Combat TX-225, which is interesting considering that there's no model of this to come with it. And then here we have the whole mission to Jeddah as seen in Star Wars, or rather Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and some TIE fighters to close out the magazine. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully I can maybe find one in English, because I would love to read about it. But yeah, let me just cast this aside really quickly and then dive into the model itself. Alright, so here is the model itself. I was a little surprised at how small it was, considering the size of the ship more or less in the films. I expected it to be maybe a little bit bigger. And very similar, like I said, to the Eaglemoss and FanHome collections. They come in a unique box. And this one has all Star Wars branding and fonts, Disney, the Millennium Falcon silhouette there, all of that. And then, so let's just open this up. It's a pity we never got these in the States, but from what I understand, the license to make Star Wars ships is in the hands of another company. And if I had to guess, I would say that's Hot Wheels. Even those are kind of hard to track down. So So yeah, get this out and get the stand out. Oh yeah, get this out of the way. And I think a little greasy there, huh? Fingerprints, no doubt. It mounts to the stand like that, I think, or that's the stand, and it has the name on the front of the stand, which is something very different than the Star Trek Starships collection. I guess that makes this collection unique. And here is the Super Star Destroyer Executor. Fits in your hand like that, so it actually fits in the palm of your hand. It's not very large, but considering its size, the detail is pretty exquisite. I mean, a lot of detail paneling there. And one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is the command center, or the bridge area, which is way up here, is really small. It's like you almost would need like a pair of tweezers to get to it. And I'm assuming, I'm guessing that when handling this model, you have to be very careful, because a simple swipe of the thumb and this thing will probably break off. So, and then you'd have a bridgeless ship. But yeah, the paneling looks pretty good. The detail on this, being such a small model, is very good. There are no markings, but it's clearly identifiable as an Imperial ship. You've got the engines, the hyperdrive engines back here. A total, what, 3, 6, 13 engines back here. That's like, wow. And this is supposed to be the biggest ship of the fleet, or one of them anyway. And fans of Return of the Jedi will remember this thing crashing into the surface of the second Death Star before its destruction as well. Yeah, I've always had a thing for Star Wars ships, especially the Imperial and Rebel Alliance ones. Not so much the ground vehicles that roll around and do all that, but I've been more interested in the ships that actually travel through space, things like that. And this is really nice. This little section seems to be a separate piece. All of this actually appears to be separate pieces, including the engines, which, yeah, this all would have come out. It's kind of interesting how they did that. And one could very easily mistake this as being the hangar, but it's actually not. This is where the stand mounts. So unlike the Eagle Moss ships, they don't clamp onto the model. They actually have a hole that the stand actually goes onto, like that. And that there is your model. And the model and the stand fit in the palm of your hand. And actually, I think I have it on backwards. It's supposed to go like this. Fits in the palm of your hand. So it's really not that big. But this whole model appears to be metal. Mostly metal. With some of these parts and the engines being plastic, but it's all metal. And the engines themselves are painted red, although they should have been blue, right? I think in the films they're blue. So I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity there. But yeah, for what it is, it's actually really good, and I guess I like it. I would have preferred it to be maybe a little bit bigger in terms of its width, maybe slightly longer, but just bigger overall. But for the detail, or for the size of it, the detail is very good. And I believe this is, if I have the magazine here, this would be considered issue 41. So, of the Deagostini or FanHome Star Wars Ships and Vehicles collection. Yeah, that's all I've got for this. It would be nice to, at some point, track down some more of these. But I did not see anybody on YouTube so far reviewing this particular model. And I would say it's worth it. The size of it notwithstanding, but I would say it's worth it. If you can track it down, hopefully, maybe one day, maybe Hot Wheels will screw up the license, or Mattel will screw up the license or something, and then FanHome will be able to release them in the States so that it will be easier for people like me to get their hands on. So yeah, folks, that there is the issue number 41 or would be issue 41 of the Deagostini or FanHome Star Wars Starships and Vehicles collection, or Ships and Vehicles collection, as they call it. If you have any questions, of course, please feel free to drop it down below. Is it worth it? I would say yes. If you're a Star Wars fan and you love ships, this is definitely for you. So, until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.